Chapter 5763. Are you stupid? Ji Lingfeng was rendered speechless by her words. He snorted coldly, sharp-tongued. A good-for-nothing like you shouldn't come here and drag us down. Yun Chuzhou sized him up a few times, causing Ji Lingfeng's hair to stand on end. She said, What are you looking at? Yun Chuzhou pursed her lips. I'm looking at which of your two legs is a drag. B0x. Calm. Besides, how am I a drag? I remember that you ran the slowest just now, right? You should be the one dragging us down. Yan Qingcheng, how dare you talk to me like that? You're courting death. Ji Lingfeng shouted angrily out of embarrassment. What? You want to fight? You killed your classmates, be careful not to be expelled from the academy. Yun Chujia's expression was unbridled. Ji Lingfeng was furious and sneered. Yan Qingcheng, you're taking yourself too seriously. Even if I kill you, the academy won't do anything to me. Besides, do you think PM's stupid enough to say that I killed you? When the time comes, it'll say that you were bitten to death by a demonic beast, and with Junior Lian Qiao and Jiang Shuangli as witnesses, your death will be in vain. Yun Chuzhou immediately asked in horror and disbelief, Senior Shao, Senior Jiang, will you really help him cover it up? Due to Yun Chujia's display of affection and deliberate provocation along the way, Shao Lianxiao had completely lost her patience. She snorted coldly and said, Trash, like you shouldn't have appeared in the upper house in the first place. Ji Lingfeng killing you can be considered a credit, so of course I won't divulge the secret. Yun Chuzhou looked at Jiang Shuangli. Senior Jiang, there hasn't been any conflict between us. You also want to kill me? Jiang Shuangli raised his chin. As long as Junior Lian Qiao is happy, what does your life or death have to do with me? I only blame you for not appearing in the upper house, and even more so for coming here with us. The pride on Ji Lingfeng's face grew stronger, and killing intent flashed in his eyes. In his opinion, killing this stupid girl who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth was as easy as flipping his hand. Yun Chuzhou looked at Ji Lingfeng as if he was a fool. Ji Lingfeng, do you think you're stupid? If I die, you'll have even less chance of getting Shao Lianxiao. Because once I die, Shao Lianxiao will shamelessly stick to my big brother Beiyu. Ji Lingfeng was stunned. Yes, now that Yan Qingcheng was sticking to Beiyu, he had a chance to court Shao Lianxiao. If Yan Qingcheng died, wouldn't he dig a hole for himself? Ji Lingfeng thought of something and sneered, You don't have to provoke me and junior sister Lianxiao. I didn't want to kill you, I was just trying to scare you. Jiang Shuangli, who was at the side, also thought of this and hurriedly said, All right. We are. Wouldn't it be a joke if we said that we were going to fight and kill each other? Let's hurry up and pick the herbs and seeds. Shao Lianxiao was so angry that she gritted her teeth. It seemed that if she wanted to kill this bitch, Yan Qingcheng, she could only find an opportunity to do it herself. Unfortunately, every time they picked, Yun Chuzhou would shamelessly take the initiative to be on guard. Shao Lianxiao did not find an opportunity to make a move. Because every time they found a dangerous situation, He Xinjiu escaped the fastest. Therefore, Shao Lianxiao and the other two were in a sorry state because of fighting against the demonic insects or demonic beasts. They even suffered some minor injuries, but He Xinjiu was completely fine. She was very lively. Ji Lingfeng and Jiang Shuangli had a subtle change in their minds, but their tolerance towards Yun Chuzhou increased greatly. They didn't raise any objections. Shao Lianxiao was about to explode with anger. But there was nothing she could do. She could only comfort herself. After all, this experiential learning was still going on for a long time. She would eventually find an opportunity to make a move. Chapter 5764, Thousand-Year-Old Corpse Turtle Bug. The next morning, the group continued to move in groups. He Xinjiu hummed a tune as she walked at the back of the group. She was obviously in a good mood. Shao Lianxiao was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She wished she could shut her mouth. After walking for a while, there was a faint rustling sound in front of them. The four of them looked around, but didn't find anything unusual. Maybe it's just the sound of the wind. The plants here don't have any accompanying beasts. Just relax and move forward, Jiang Shuangli said confidently. B0X. Calm. Seeing that he said it so confidently, Xiao Yanqiao and the other two were relieved and continued to walk forward. However, after walking for less than 1,000 zhang, the four of them saw the situation in front of them. They were so scared that their legs went soft and they almost fell to the ground. The ground was filled with dense brown demonic insects, and the rustling was the sound they made when they crawled. This is a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle. Quick, run! Jiang Shuangli said with a trembling voice. Even if Jiang Shuangli didn't say it, Xiao Yanqiao and the other two had also noticed the strangeness of these 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insects. Wherever those 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insects passed by, the plants began to wither at a speed visible to the naked eye, and they could vaguely see the bones of many demonic beasts in the distance. The four of them immediately ran away. If it weren't for the fact that it was forbidden to fly here, the four of them would have immediately summoned their flying spirit tools and left this godforsaken place. Yun Chuzhou didn't know what the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles were, but when she saw the pale faces of Jiang Shuangli and the other two, she knew that these 1,000-year-old corpse beetles were very terrifying. Fortunately, after they ran for some distance, they found that the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles didn't chase after them. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. Fortunately, those 1,000-year-old corpse beetles didn't chase after us. Otherwise, our lives would be in danger. Jiang Shuangli said with a face full of lingering fear. Yun Chuzhou asked curiously, are those 1,000-year-old corpse beetles really that scary? Xiao Yanqiao glared at her and said with disdain, sure enough, he is a waste. He doesn't even know about the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles. Although Xiao Yanqiao and the other two did not like Yun Chuzhou fully displayed the spirit of not being ashamed to ask. She learned about the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle from them. It was only a 1,000-year-old corpse would give birth to a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle. After the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle hatched, it would first devour the corpse and then come out to hunt for food. As they had a thick aura of death, the flowers, plants, and trees would wither wherever they passed. If the monsters or humans encountered the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles, the chances of survival were extremely low, because not only were there many of them, but they could also fly. Even though the bloodthirsty insect valley forbade flying, the monsters could still fly up to about 20 feet high. When Yun Chuzhou heard this, she was suddenly shocked and subconsciously raised her head to look at the surrounding trees. When she saw the light reflected from the leaves, her pupils constricted and she said in a low voice, I have something to tell you. After listening to my words, none of you should cry out in alarm, and don't act rashly. Xiao Yanqiao snorted coldly, you are deliberately mystifying. Are you sick? Yun Chuzhou ignored her and continued to speak in an extremely low voice, there are many 1,000-year-old corpse beetles on the surrounding trees. They are probably preparing to ambush us. We have to break out of the encirclement as fast as possible, or we will die without a doubt. Xiao Yanqiao thought that Yun Chuzhou was talking nonsense, but when she saw the countless 1,000-year-old corpse beetles that could be vaguely seen behind the leaves, her legs suddenly went weak and she almost collapsed to the ground. Chapter 57-65, I have brains. Ji Lingfeng and Jiang Shuangli were no better. They never thought that these 1,000-year-old corpse turtles would be so cunning. They actually hid in the trees and prepared to surround and annihilate them. Yun Chuzhou glanced at them and said, when those 1,000-year-old corpse turtles discover that we are escaping, they will definitely chase after us. The worst part is that they will dive down from the sky. Therefore, we must work together to escape and ascend into the sky. Later, when we rush out, we will activate the spiritual energy shield on our bodies at the same time. At the same time, Ji Lingfeng, throw out the jade talismans on your body. This way, we can ensure that our spiritual energy shield will not be breached. B0X. Calm, what right do you have to order me? Those jade talismans are used to protect my life. What right do you have to throw them all out? Ji Lingfeng said indignantly. Xiao Lianxiao snorted coldly from the side, that's right. Among the four of us, you're the most useless. What right do you have to order us around? Jiang Shuangli didn't say anything, but he didn't agree either. Yun Chuzhou narrowed her eyes. One have brains, but you guys have pig brains. Do you think I'm willing to care about you? If you guys weren't useful, I would have run away by myself. Xiao Yanxiao and the other two. What? You guys aren't convinced? If it weren't for me, would you guys have discovered the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles on the tree? Looking at your weak legs and weak hands, you guys are probably scared. What good ideas can you guys come up with? Cut the crap. If we continue to waste time, none of us will survive. Although Xiao Lianxiao and the other two were unwilling to admit it, they had to admit that Yun Chuzhou was right. When they thought about how they were surrounded by the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles, their hands and feet became weak. They couldn't think of any ideas at all. Ji Lingfeng gritted his teeth. Okay, I'll listen to you for a while. If we can get out of this, then so be it, but if we can't, if we can't get out of this, then there won't be a future. Xiao Lianxiao and Jiang Shuangli didn't say anything, but it was obvious that they had tacitly agreed. I'll transfer some demon beast corpses to you. Xiao Lianxiao, you throw them to the east, Ji Lingfeng, you throw them to the west, and Jiang Shuangli, you throw them to the north. This way, the attention of those 1,000-year-old corpse turtles will be distracted. When I count to 3, we'll rush to the south together. Do you hear me? Yun Chuzhou said solemnly. Xiao Lianxiao and the other two reluctantly nodded. Now, they could only try their best. Immediately, Yun Chuzhou transferred a lot of demon beast corpses to Xiao Lianxiao and the other two. The three of them immediately followed Yun Chuzhou's instructions and threw the demon beast corpses out. 1, 2, 3, charge! As soon as Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, the four of them dashed towards the south. Those 1,000-year-old corpse turtles were obviously more interested in living people. They abandoned the demon beast corpses and chased after the four of them. Ji Lingfeng, what are you still standing there for? Hurry up and throw out the jade talisman seal. Ji Lingfeng gritted his teeth and began to throw out the jade talisman seal in pain. Although he was a student of the talisman division and his results were quite good, he only knew how to draw some low-level jade talismans. Many of the talismans he threw out were bought at a high price. Those 1,000-year-old corpse beetles chased after him relentlessly. Very quickly, Ji Lingfeng's jade talismans were all lost. The 1,000-year-old corpse beetles began to attack the four people's spiritual energy barrier. Are you all idiots? Release the spiritual beasts. Delay them. Yun Chuzhou roared. Xiao Lianxiao and the other two couldn't be bothered with their anger anymore and quickly released their spirit beasts. Even so, as more and more 1,000-year-old corpse turtles gathered, the four's spirit energy shield was covered with 1,000-year-old corpse turtles, and the sound of their hair-raising rustling could be heard. Chapter 5766 was trapped. Xiao Lianqiao's face was pale as she shouted, Yan Qingcheng, where's your spiritual beast? Yun Chuzhou sighed, my spiritual beast is too useless. Since you insist that I release it, then I will release it. As Yun Chuzhou said that, she released a motionless red claw. This strange spiritual beast not only stunned Xiao Lianxiao and the other two, even the rustling sound stopped for a moment. Yun Chuzhou felt that it was not that critical yet, not to mention that she could still hide in the Great Void Mystic Realm, so she did not release the Gowei Batsao, but instead, she released her red claws. B0XO. Of course, it was better not to enter the Great Void Mystic Realm if possible. After all, every time she came out, she would be sucked of blood. It was simply too abnormal. You are indeed a waste. We should not have listened to you. It's over, we are doomed now. Xiao Lianxiao said with a bit of a breakdown. Yun Chuzhou was too lazy to argue with her. As long as they could hold on for a while longer, Director Xiaofu would be able to rush over. At that time, they would naturally be able to escape. Sure enough, just as Xiao Yanqiao and the other two were about to despair, Director Xiaofu arrived. Director Xiephus' expression was very grave. Even if he was facing so many thousand-year-old corpse turtles, he still felt a little apprehensive. Fortunately, these thousand-year-old corpse turtles should still be larvae, and their levels weren't too high. Otherwise, they would be even more difficult to deal with. Director Xiaofu released his spirit power wolf, and the spirit power wolf immediately pounced on those thousand-year-old corpse turtles. Director Xiaofu said to Xiao Yanqiao and the others, "You guys retreat first. I'll be right behind you." Xiao Yanqiao and the others hurriedly ran forward, wishing that they could grow 2 more legs. The 4 of them ran for dozens of miles in one breath, and Director Xiaofu caught up. At the same time, another group rushed over after hearing the news. The group didn't dare to stop. They continued to run until they were exhausted. Director Xiephus' face was a bit ugly. He never thought that there would be a thousand-year-old corpse turtle in the bloodthirsty insect valley. These thousand-year-old corpse turtle grew very fast. The worst part was that when they grew to a certain level, they would devour each other. The last one left was the thousand-year-old corpse turtle king insect. The thousand-year-old corpse beetle king beetle was an 8th-level sun-seal demonic insect, which was equivalent to a human cultivator at the 8th level of the divine level, while Director Xiaofu was only at the 4th level of the divine level. Director Xiaofu took out a map and looked at it. They had now fled to the core area of the bloodthirsty insect valley. It was estimated that the thousand-year-old corpse beetles would not chase after them for a while. Although Director Xiaofu had just asked the academy for help, far water could not quench the immediate thirst. They had to save themselves. At least, they had to ensure that they would not be attacked by the thousand-year-old corpse beetles before the reinforcements arrived. Now they could not care about collecting any herbs and seeds. Director Xiaofu arranged for everyone to spread out their vigilance. Once they found a bad sign, they would immediately move away. Director Xiaofu also knew that the best plan was to leave the bloodthirsty insect valley, but he had explored the roads several times but to no avail. Those thousand-year-old corpse beetles were obviously doing it on purpose. They were entrenched in the narrowest area of the bloodthirsty insect valley and had no way to break out. Director Xiaofu, logically speaking, it is impossible for a corpse to give birth to so many thousand-year-old corpse beetles. Could it be that there are many corpses in this bloodthirsty insect valley that have not rotted for thousands of years? Although this bloodthirsty insect valley was dangerous, there were quite a number of people who came here to pick herbs every year. Why had they never been discovered? Ji Lingfeng asked in puzzlement. Those corpses are probably buried deep underground, that's why they haven't been discovered, Director Xiaofu guessed. Chapter 57-67, Which one of us is useless? Jiang Shuangli said with a bitter face, "This time, we're really doomed. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle will give birth to a thousand-year-old corpse turtle king insect. A corpse will give birth to a thousand-year-old corpse turtle king insect. I'm afraid that we will become the food of the thousand-year-old corpse turtle king insect before we get reinforcements." Yun Chujil glanced at him and said, "Although the thousand-year-old corpse turtle insect is powerful, doesn't this bloodthirsty insect valley have a lot of demon insects? Will they let the thousand-year-old corpse turtle insect be arrogant? Maybe they will eat the other demon insects without us taking action." Jiang Shuangli said with disdain, "What do you know? The thousand-year corpse bug is the king of demon insects. When other demon insects see the thousand-year corpse bug, they will only bow down to it. How would they dare to provoke the thousand-year corpse bug? They are really ignorant." B0XO. Calm Yunchujo shrugged her shoulders. "Of course I am not as knowledgeable as you. After all, you are a good student of the Beast Master School. If you have the ability, you can take the thousand-year corpse bug as your spiritual pet." Jiang Shuangli almost died from anger. Not to mention him, even the dean of the Beast Master faculty didn't have the ability to take the thousand-year corpse turtle as his spiritual pet. The reason was very simple. Even the most ordinary demonic insects could only be tamed when they were in their eggs. Adult insects couldn't be tamed at all. What's more, this 1,000-year corpse turtle didn't have any eggs at all. Taming my ass. Yan Qingcheng. I won't argue with a trash like you. Jiang Shuangli said angrily. Yun Chuzhou didn't mind, she took out a chicken leg and started to eat it. After all, she was a trash, she just wanted to eat and wait for death. Di Baiming stood beside Yun Chuzhou with a protective attitude, which made Xiao Yanqiao so angry that she gritted her teeth. Di Baiming's expression was as indifferent as ever. If there was really danger, he only needed to protect Xiaojiu. The lives of others had nothing to do with him. The others were not so calm. They were all sitting on pins and needles. Even Vice President Xiao was constantly pacing around anxiously. However, after receiving a message from Director Xiaofu, Vice President Xiao's tightly furrowed brows relaxed. Vice President Xiao took out the map and pointed at a spot on it. Director Gu sent a message saying that there is a waterfall here. Those 1,000-year-old corpse beetles are not good at wading water. We can temporarily hide in the cave behind the waterfall and wait for reinforcements. Everyone was overjoyed when they heard this and immediately headed to the waterfall marked on the map. However, they forgot one thing. They were currently in the core area of the bloodthirsty insect valley. There were many high-level demonic insects scattered around. They soon encountered a nest of giant ghost-faced centipedes. These giant ghost-faced centipedes had a ghost face and their bodies were more than 10 feet long. They could also spray poison and were very difficult to deal with. It would have been fine if there were fewer of them, but they had provoked a nest of giant ghost-faced centipedes. There were more than a dozen of them. Xiao Yanqiao and the others' faces immediately turned pale. They had avoided those 1,000-year-old corpse turtles, but they had encountered this nest of giant ghost-faced centipedes. How could they be so unlucky? Those giant ghost-faced centipedes were very excited when they saw so many prey. They wished they could swallow everyone right away. While everyone was panicking, Yun Chuzhou shouted, "Not good. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle is here. Run!" The giant ghost-faced centipedes shivered and stood up in fear, looking into the distance. Taking advantage of this gap, He Xinzhou dragged Di Baiming and dashed through the gap between the giant ghost-faced centipedes. Only then did Director Xiaofu and the others react and follow closely behind. The giant ghost-faced centipedes reacted and wanted to chase after them, but it was too late. He Xinzhou glanced at Jiang Shuangli who was following behind her. "Come, tell me, which one of us is useless? I have an urgent matter to attend to." The update on August 13th will be postponed to 6 p.m. Chapter 5768, The Waterfall. Jiang Shuangli's expression froze. He glared at Yun Chuzhou without saying a word. The main thing was that he did not know what to say. Other things aside, Yan Qingchen was the reason why they were able to survive the attack of the giant ghost-faced centipede. Yan Qingchen had lied to them without batting an eye. She had almost fooled them. No wonder she had gotten hold of Bei Yu. It couldn't have been a lie, right? B0XO. Calm. After that, they encountered quite a number of high-level demonic insects. Although it was very difficult, they had finally reached the waterfall marked on the map. The reason why they had been able to benefit from Director Xaifa's cultivation was partly because of Jiang Shuangli's extraordinary family background. They had many good things on them that could save their lives at critical moments. Even so, everyone was injured quite badly. Even Director Xiaofu vomited a mouthful of blood. He Xinzhou was not injured under Di Baiming's protection, but his clothes and face were covered in blood. He looked miserable. Yes, it was all the demonic beast blood that he had secretly smeared. Even Di Baiming's face was smeared with some demonic beast blood. When everyone saw the waterfall in front of them, they finally let out a sigh of relief. As long as they hid in the cave behind the waterfall, their lives would not be in danger for the time being. However, would the cave behind the waterfall have already been occupied by demon beasts? If they rashly approached, there might be danger. Xiao Yanqiao recalled the method that Yun Chuzhou had used before. She picked up a few small stones and threw them towards the cave behind the water curtain. After waiting for a long time, she did not find anything unusual. Director Xiophas' gaze landed on Di Biming. Beiyu, you have an ice spirit root. You are suitable for fighting in the water. Go and explore the cave behind the waterfall. Hei Xinjiu was immediately unhappy. The gigolo had an ice spirit root, not a water spirit root. Why should the gigolo scout the path? However, none of the people present had water spirit roots. The gigolo was a more suitable candidate. Di Biming did not hesitate. He immediately jumped into the pool and swam toward the waterfall. A moment later, Di Biming waved at everyone in the cave. Everyone was overjoyed and quickly jumped into the water and swam toward the cave. After everyone entered the cave, they looked carefully. There were traces of man-made excavations in the cave. It should have been formed naturally. This cave was not considered big, and it could barely accommodate the 8 of them. Everyone sat on the ground, consumed medicinal pills to treat their injuries, and then meditated to regulate their breathing. The next morning, everyone was shocked to discover that there were actually quite a number of 1,000-year-old corpse turtles gathered on the other side of the pool. The densely packed group made their scalps go numb. However, it was fortunate that they were indeed somewhat afraid of the water and did not have any intention of entering the pool. Everyone could not help but sigh. It was a good thing that President Gu had pointed out the way for them. Otherwise, they would have been surrounded by the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles. However, Hei Xinjiu suddenly thought of a question. If the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles could fly, why didn't they choose to fly over? Could it be that the water pond was more restricted from flying than other places? The others had obviously thought of this as well. Vice President Xiao explained, President Gu said during the transmission that the water pond was more restricted from flying than other places. That's why he asked us to hide here. As more and more 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insects gathered, everyone was surprised to find that the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insects were growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. These 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insects are about to evolve. Soon, they will produce 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects, Jiang Shuangli said with a trembling voice. Chapter 5769 The 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle King Bug. Although Jiang Shuangli's trembling voice was filled with fear, there was also a trace of excitement. After all, not everyone had the chance to witness the birth process of the 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle King Bug. The others also had the same thoughts. In any case, these 1,000-year corpse turtle bugs did not dare to wade in the water. Under the premise that their lives were not in danger, it was good to broaden their horizons. After the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles grew to a certain size, they began to kill each other in a frenzy. The 1,000-year-old corpse beetles didn't have blood, but a black liquid with a rotten smell. Soon, the air was filled with a nauseating smell. What made everyone even more uncomfortable was the 1,000-year-old corpse beetles' carcasses, which made people's hair stand on end. B0XO. Calm. This battle continued from dusk until dawn the next day. Among the thick layer of 1,000-year-old corpse beetles' carcasses, there were still 8,000-year-old corpse beetles. Jiang Shuangli pointed at the 8,000-year-old corpse beetles and said, "Look, these 8 should be 1,000-year-old corpse beetles." Ji Lingfeng said in confusion, "These 8 look no different from ordinary 1,000-year-old corpse beetles. Are they really 1,000-year-old corpse beetles? Are they really that terrifying?" As soon as he finished speaking, the 8,000-year-old corpse beetles began to crazily devour the corpses on the ground, their bodies rapidly growing like snowballs. Under everyone's stunned gazes, the 8,000-year-old corpse turtle king bugs devoured all the corpses on the ground, their bodies growing to over 10 feet in size. As their bodies grew larger, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king bugs' appearance also became more sinister and terrifying, their bodies even shrouded in a substance-like black aura. Xiao Yanxiao said with a face full of fear, "Fortunately, we hid here in advance, or else we'd be dead for sure." The others also felt sad. Even a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king bug could kill them, not to mention there were 8 of them here. The protruding eyes of the 8,000-year-old corpse turtle king bugs shot out a cold light, all converging on the people hiding in the cave. Even though they were still some distance away, even though they were separated by the water curtain, everyone was still frightened by their cold eyes. One of the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects tried to enter the pool, but it quickly crawled back to the shore. Everyone's originally worried hearts finally returned to their stomachs. Fortunately, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects were afraid of the water, or else they would have been due. The other 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects also tried once, but in the end, they all came back empty-handed. Just when everyone was completely relieved, the 8,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects actually began to kill each other. The intensity of the battle simply exceeded everyone's understanding. Everyone looked at each other. Why were these 8,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects also fighting? Could it be that there was no room for two tigers on the same mountain? Everyone was happy to watch the show. It would be best if these 8,000-year-old corpse turtle king insects died together. As he watched, Jiang Shuangli's expression changed drastically as he said, I know. Everyone looked at him in confusion. Xiao Yanxiao snappily said, what do you know? Jiang Shuangli's face was deathly pale. His legs went limp and he directly sat on the ground. After calming down for a while, he said, it is rumored that above the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insect, there is the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect. The production method of the emperor insect is roughly the same as that of the king insect, but it needs to devour the corpse of the king insect. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug is only recorded in some ancient books. I thought that it was just a legend. I didn't expect that there really was a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. Chapter 5770 The 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle Emperor Bug Director Xiophas' expression changed first. The 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle Emperor Bug was already an 8th-level sun-sealed demonic bug, equivalent to a human cultivator at the 8th level of the Divine Ascension realm. Then, wouldn't the Emperor Bug's strength be even more terrifying? Most importantly, if the 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle Emperor Bug was not afraid of water, then would they still have a way to live? Now, they could only pray that the 1,000-Year Corpse Turtle Emperor Bug was also afraid of water, and that reinforcements would arrive quickly. Thinking of this, Director Xiaofu quickly passed the news back to the academy. The 1,000-year-old King Turtle was so terrifying. If fewer people came, not only would they not be able to save them, they would also lose their lives. B0XO. Calm. The battle between the 8,000-year-old King Turtle continued until the next morning, but there was still no winner. Yun Chuzhou narrowed her eyes. Director Xiaofu, I think we should launch an attack when their battle is over. The reason is very simple. After killing each other, the remaining 1,000-year-old King Turtle must be heavily injured and is at its weakest. Otherwise, after it has swallowed the other 7,000-year-old King Turtle and turned into the 1,000-year-old King Turtle, if it can wade into the water, we will definitely die. This is the only chance for us to escape. This opportunity is now or never. What do you think? Vice Director Xiaofu frowned. Before he could say anything, Xiao Yanxiao said, Yan Qingcheng, you are worrying for nothing. Since the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle and the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insect cannot wade in the water, and the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insect certainly cannot wade in the water, why should we take the risk? Ji Lingfeng pursed his lips. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king insect is equivalent to a human cultivator in the 8th layer of the divine level. Even if it is seriously injured, we are not its match. What's the difference between this and courting death? Jiang Shuangli also echoed, that's right. The reinforcements will arrive this afternoon. There's no need to take the risk at all. Yan Qingcheng, don't come up with such a bad idea. Yun Chuzhou looked at Bai Yuechen and Nan Gongshi. What do you guys think? Bai Yuechen snorted coldly. Isn't it obvious? We just need to wait for the reinforcements. There's no need to take the risk at all. Moreover, the last remaining 1,000-year corpse turtle king insect will definitely become more violent after the battle. If we go ashore, we'll be courting death. Everyone's gaze fell. They felt that he must have the same thoughts as Xiao Yanxiao and the others. However, unexpectedly, Nan Gongshi said, I think what Yan Qingqing said makes sense. Just because the 1,000-year corpse turtle king insect can't wade in the water doesn't mean that the 1,000-year corpse turtle king insect can't wade in the water. Why don't we take a gamble? Otherwise, once it can wade in the water, we'll definitely die. Di Baiming nodded, I also agree with Yan Qingcheng's opinion. A gentleman doesn't put himself in danger. It's better to eliminate the danger in the bud. Seeing that Di Baiming and Yun Chujiu were in the same boat, Xiao Yanxiao was so angry that she gritted her teeth and looked at Vice Director Xiaofu, second uncle, what do you think? Director Xiaofu was obviously hesitant, but when he saw the intense battle on the shore and the stench in the air, he gritted his teeth and said, according to common sense, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect should also be afraid of wading in the water. To be safe, we should wait for reinforcements to arrive. Director Xiaofu, common sense is not necessarily correct. If we miss this opportunity, even if we want to regret it, it's too late. Yun Chujiu put away her usual cheeky smile and said seriously. Xiao Yanxiao said from the side, humph. If you are so capable, you can rush out yourself. If you want to die, then go die. Don't drag us along. Ji Lingfeng and the others were also mocking and saying sarcastic words. Chapter 57-71 Submission. A cold glint flashed across Yun Chujiu's eyes. It was difficult to persuade those damn ghosts with good words. Since these idiots did not appreciate her kindness, there was no need for her to say anything more. If the situation was really as bad as she had expected, she would hide in the Great Void Mystic Realm. Without her dragging her down, the pretty boy's ability would naturally allow her to escape. Nan Gongshi wanted to say something, but seeing that Vice Director Xiaofu had already made up his mind, a hint of worry flashed across his eyes, but he did not say anything else. The battle on the shore was coming to an end, and in the end, a slightly larger 1,000-year-old corpse turtle king bug won. B0XO. Comet began to crazily devour the corpses of the other 7,000-year-old corpse turtle king bugs, and its body also began to rapidly grow. In the end, it turned into a 60-foot-long behemoth. It flapped its wings, and some of the remains on the ground were swept away from the ground and swallowed into its mouth. Then, it let out a strange cry, and all kinds of insect cries came from all directions, as if it was a pilgrimage. Everyone's faces were filled with shock. What shocked them even more was that there was a bright red eye-shaped mark on the forehead of the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. This 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was actually an eye-shaped demonic beast, which was equivalent to the legendary demigod cultivation. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug looked at the people in the cave coldly with its huge protruding eyes. It actually spoke in human language, a bunch of stupid ants. Do you want to die or live? As the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug spoke, it emitted a tremendous pressure. The people in the cave immediately broke out in cold sweat. They even had the urge to kneel down and worship it. Of course, there were exceptions, such as a certain venerable and He Xinjiu. When Deputy Director Xiaofu saw that the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug could actually speak, the fear in his heart became even greater. However, when he thought that although the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was terrifying, since it did not wade into the water, it should also be afraid of the water, and he felt more confident. Deputy Director Xiaofu politely cupped his fists and said, "We didn't mean to offend you. Please show us mercy." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect let out a few strange cries and its huge body entered the pool. "Ant, do you think that I don't dare to wade in the water?" Vice Director Xaiaphus' legs went weak and he almost collapsed to the ground. His face was full of fear. Xiao Yanxiao and the others were even more unbearable and directly collapsed to the ground. This 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect was actually not afraid of the water. Then did they still have a way to live? The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect seemed to enjoy Vice Director Xaiaphus' fear, and did not continue to walk forward. It swept a glance at everyone, What a bunch of cowardly ants. How about this, as long as you submit to me, I will spare your little lives. How about it? After the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect finished speaking, it spat out a mouthful of black gas. The water curtain was directly dispersed by the black gas, revealing everyone's abnormally frightened expressions. Everyone was scared and anxious. What should they do? Were they really going to submit to a demonic insect? But if they didn't submit, how could they survive? Director Xyphus' eyes flashed. He gave everyone a look and then said to the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, "We are willing to submit. Please spare us." Director Xiaofu calculated in his heart that he could temporarily stabilize the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. If he delayed for a while more, the Academy's reinforcements might arrive. This 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug had just been born after all, so its cultivation might not be stable. Once the reinforcements arrived, it might be able to escape. With Director Xiaofu taking the lead, Xiao Lianxiao and the others also expressed their submission. It was just a temporary measure, so it was okay to say some soft words. Chapter 57-72, Sincerity. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug coldly glanced at everyone. Words have no basis. You have to show me your sincerity. Everyone looked at each other. Sincerity? What sincerity? Director Xiaofu cupped his fists again. What do you mean? How do we express our sincerity? The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug's huge eyes revealed a mocking expression. Of course, it's the sincerity of betraying humanity and being loyal to our bug clan. I've heard that you humans are the most hypocritical. How about this? There are 8 of you, and I only need 7 servants. You can choose one to kill as your sincerity. Updated on B0xN0VL. Everyone turned pale with fright when they heard this. This 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was too cunning. Was he trying to make them kill each other? Director Xiaofu tightened his hands under his sleeves and said, "Sir, can we use another method? For example, can we hand over all the spirit stones we have on us? Or can we kneel down and pay our respects to you?" The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect let out a shrill cry that was full of mockery. Hand over the spirit stones? Kneel down and pay our respects. This is what you must do as servants. What kind of sincerity is this? I'll give you 15 minutes to decide. If you still haven't made your decision by then, I can only eat all of you disobedient ants. At this point, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect spat out another mouthful of black gas. The water curtain was blown away by the black gas again. Everyone could even feel the destructive aura emitted from the black gas. Everyone could not help but shiver. Deputy Director Xiaofu looked at the time. Reinforcements would need at least another 6 hours to arrive. What should they do? Xiao Lianxiao pointed at Yun Chujiu and said sharply, "Second uncle, I think the best choice is to kill Yan Qingcheng. She is the most useless, so it is best to kill her." Ji Lingfeng immediately echoed, "I agree with Lianqiu's suggestion. Yan Qingcheng originally came here by force. If she did not participate, perhaps we would not have met this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. That's right, Yan Qingcheng deserved to die. I agree to kill her too." Bai Yuechen echoed. Di Baiming didn't say anything. He just stood in front of Yun Chujiu, his eyes full of sharpness. Hei Xinjiu was like a frightened little quail, as pitiful as she could be. Vice Director Xiaofu naturally wanted to kill Yun Chujiu too. After all, even if there wasn't the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect, he still wanted to find an opportunity to kill Yun Chujiu. Even so, he still asked symbolically, "Jiang Shuangli, Nangong Shi, Beiyu, what do you guys tea?" Although he couldn't stand Yun Chujiu and had mocked her many times, when he thought of Yun Chujiu's suggestion of taking the initiative to attack, he more or less regretted not standing on Yun Chujiu's side. If they had risked their lives just now, they might have had a chance to kill the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug that hadn't transformed into a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. While Jiang Shuangli was hesitating, Nan Gongshi said indifferently, I don't agree to kill Yan Qingcheng. She didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason for her to become a sacrifice. Moreover, that 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect might be playing with us. Even if we hand over one person, it will eat the rest of us. Since that's the case, why don't we think of another way? Xiao Lianxiao sneered, another way. What way? Could it be that you can defeat that 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug? Wishful thinking. If you can't bear to part with Yan Qingcheng, then you can die in her place. Chapter 57-73, The grasshopper outside Nan Gongshi glanced at Xiao Lianxiao coldly and said, in short, I don't agree to kill Yan Qingcheng. Xiao Lianxiao pursed her lips and looked at Jiang Shuangli. Senior Jiang, what's your opinion? Jiang Shuangli looked at Quail 9, who was shivering, and then at Xiao Lianxiao, who was looking anxious. For some reason, he felt that Xiao Lianqiao's originally good looks had become a little ugly. Sometimes, the beginning and end of a good impression is so inexplicable. Jiang Shuangli himself is a little confused. Where does he like Xiao Lianxiao? Updated on B0xN0VL. Calm Xiao Lianxiao saw that he had been staring at her, thought that he looked at her in a daze, in the heart faintly proud, with a little coquettish urge, Jiang, I asked you a question. Do you agree to kill Yan Qingcheng? Jiang Shuangli lowered his head and avoided Xiao Lianqiao's gaze. He mumbled, it's better if no one dies. Maybe we can think of another way. Xiao Lianxiao could not believe her ears. Did Jiang Shuangli eat the wrong medicine? She glared at Jiang Shuangli and looked at Di Baiming. Beiyu, you've always been sensible. Don't tell me you can't bear to part with Yan Qingcheng. Di Baiming gave Xiao Lianxiao a rare look, but it was as if he was looking at a dead person. Xiao Lianxiao was so angry that she gritted her teeth and turned to look at Vice Director Xiaofu, second uncle, you are the leader of this team and an elder. It should be up to you to decide. I believe that no one will have any objections. Vice Director Xiaofu's gaze landed on Yun Chuzhou and said, Yan Qingcheng, although I can't bear it in my heart, but in order to protect more people, I can only make things difficult for you. Don't worry. If we manage to escape unscathed, we will naturally report your deeds to President Gu and award you with the honor you deserve. Di Baiming was about to speak when He Xinjiu reversed her previous timidity and sneered, Vice-Chancellor Xiao, are you an elder or a chancellor? If you want to sacrifice yourself, you should sacrifice yourself. Moreover, your cultivation is high and you have a lot of flesh. I believe that the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect will like you even more. Moreover, you have already lived for so long. You should die. Don't worry. If you sacrifice yourself, I will let you live on for eternity. Director Xiaofu almost choked with anger. What did he mean by he should die too? He could no longer care about maintaining his hypocritical appearance. He immediately shouted coldly, Yan Qingcheng, for the safety of everyone, you must die. If you take the initiative to leave, it will be considered as saving your face. If not, don't blame me for not being polite. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Vice Director Xiaofu, let's not argue. Since we are giving it to the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug to eat, then let it choose for itself. Hey, that person outside, who do you want to eat? What do you think of our Vice Director Xiaofu? Soft and tender skin, high cultivation, just right for your dessert. And this Xiao Lianxiao, how beautiful she is. If you eat her, I guarantee that your waist won't hurt anymore, and your legs won't be sore anymore. It'll be delicious if you eat it. And this Ji Lingfeng, with a human face and the heart of a beast, tastes delicious. Vice Director Xiaofu and the others were so angry that they were twitching. Xiao Lianxiao screamed sharply, you're the one who killed her. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, it's this slut. Previously, she suggested that we kill you before you evolved into an emperor bug. She deserves to die the most. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug let out a strange laugh. TSK, humans are indeed the most selfish race. They are actually so ugly when it comes to competing for benefits. However, that shriveled and ugly little girl actually wanted to scheme against me? Then let's eat her. Director Xiaofu and the others were immediately delighted and looked at Yun Chuzhou with schadenfreude. Yun Chuzhi's little face sank. Hey, that grasshopper outside, who are you calling shriveled and ugly? Are you fucking blind? Chapter 57-74 Grasshopper. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug didn't react for a moment, but it looked around. Other than those stupid humans, it was the only living thing here. The grasshopper in that stinky Gurp's mouth was referring to it. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was instantly enraged. Ugly girl, you actually dare to insult me? You're courting death. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug roared as it spewed out black gas. Under its continuous black gas attacks, the water curtain even had a short break. Director Xiaofu and the others were so frightened that they retreated repeatedly. However, the cave was only so big, where could they retreat to? Updated on B0xN0VL. Calm, Yan Qingcheng, you're courting death, don't drag us along. You actually dare to call the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug lord a grasshopper, quickly scram out and apologize with your death. Xiao Yanqiao roared ferociously. Yun Chuzhou raised her eyebrows. You said it was a locust. Isn't a locust a grasshopper? What did I say wrong? I said the emperor is not a locust. Second uncle, Yan Qingcheng has angered the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect. It's better to throw her out quickly. Director Xiaofu's eyes revealed a fierce look. He reached out to grab Yun Chuzhou, but Di Baiming grabbed his arm. Beiyu, let go. Director Xiaofu said unhappily. Di Baiming said coldly, you are the vice-chancellor of the 10 Directions Academy, but you have to sacrifice your student's life to protect yourself. You are simply ashamed of being a teacher. Director Xiaofu immediately became angry from embarrassment and said, what do you know? I am not doing it for myself, I am doing it to protect the lives of most of you. You heard it too. It was Yan Qingcheng who was appointed by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. If you want to blame someone, blame it on Yan Qingcheng's bad luck. Yun Chuzhou poked her head out from behind Di Baiming and said with a smile, oh. According to what you said, if the grasshopper outside was appointed to eat someone, who would have to take the initiative to go out and die? That's right. Sacrificing oneself for the greater good is a necessary quality for the students of the academy. If the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was appointed by someone else, the others should also take the initiative to go out. Now, the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug appointed you, so you should hurry out so that I won't make a move, said Deputy Director Xiaofu coldly. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, that may not be the case. If I talk to that grasshopper, maybe it will change its mind. As Yun Chuzhou said this, she pulled her neck and shouted, hey, grasshopper, let's talk about it. How about you eat someone else? The 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor insect cackled, someone else? Right now, I only want to eat you, this ugly girl who insulted me. Xiao Yanqiao immediately gloated, Yan Qingcheng, did you hear that? The 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor insect only wants to eat you. Why don't you get the hell out of here? Yun Chuzhi's face did not show the slightest hint of panic. She curled the corners of her mouth, grasshopper, usually not willing to expose people's shortcomings. However, if you don't know your place, I'm going to tell you some of your little secrets. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug looked at Yun Chuzhou with contempt. My shortcomings? What shortcomings do I have? Ugly girl, come out and die, or I'll eat all of you ants. You really want me to tell you? TSK, this cave, this pool, aren't you afraid that your efforts will be in vain? Yun Chuzhou said with a hint of meaning. A hint of suspicion flashed through the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug's eyes, but it didn't say anything. Grasshopper, so I advise you to choose another person to eat. I think Vice Director Xiaofu is very good. How about you choose him? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Chapter 5775. I have a way to save my life. Director Xiaofu glared at Yun Chuzhou, but he was not worried. The reason was simple. Yan Qingsheng had obviously offended the thousand-year corpse turtle emperor bug. How could the thousand-year corpse turtle emperor bug give up on her and choose him? However, his thoughts were quickly destroyed. The thousand-year corpse turtle emperor bug's cold eyes fell on Director Xiaofu. All right, what the ugly girl said makes sense. She's too shriveled, so you're better off. Hurry up and get out, or I'll eat all of you ants. Updated on B0xN0VL. Director Xiaofu was completely dumbfounded. Why did Yan Qingsheng, this stinky girl, say a few words, and this thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug changed its mind? Director Xiaofu, don't just stand there. Didn't you want to sacrifice yourself for the greater good? Then hurry up and go die. Don't worry, we will remember your great kindness. In the future, we will go to your grave and burn incense for you. Go out quickly, don't dawdle. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Director Xiaofu was so angry that he was twitching. He gritted his teeth and said, "You heard wrong. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug clearly wants to eat you." Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. Grasshopper, who do you think you want to eat? Me or him? The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug wanted to flare up when it heard the word grasshopper, but when it saw Yun Chuzhou's provocative gaze, it could only coldly say to Director Xiaofu, "Your cultivation is the highest, so I naturally want to eat you. Hurry up and get out, or I won't be polite." After the thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug finished speaking, it immediately spat out a mouthful of black gas. The water curtain was directly dispersed by the black gas, scaring everyone into shrinking back into the cave. Director Xiaofu, get out. You were so righteous just now, how did you become a coward when it's your turn? TSK, it's really an eye-opener. And Xiao Yanxiao, where was your righteous indignation just now? You pushed your second uncle out and sent him to his death. Ji Lingfeng, Bai Yuechen, you were so sure that no one could be too selfish. Why aren't you saying anything now? Do you want to die on behalf of Director Xiaofu? Yun Chuzhou's face was full of mockery. Director Xiaofu and the others were rendered speechless. Their faces turned green and then white. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect lost its patience and roared, "CC, hurry up and come out and die. Otherwise, I won't hold back." Director Xiaofu was filled with hatred and fear. Although he wanted to push Yun Chuzhou out to take the blame, Di Baiming had always protected Yun Chuzhou behind him. He did not have the chance to make a move. Even though he felt that his cultivation level was much higher than Bai Yes, he did not know why, but at this moment, Bai Yes' fierce aura made him feel fear from the bottom of his heart. At this moment, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, "I have a way to save your lives, but your previous actions made me very sad, so you have to give me some compensation, or else you can just wait to die." Xiao Yanxiao was both angry and angry. "Yan Qingsheng, aren't you afraid that your words will hurt your tongue? What can you do?" TSK, I can make that grasshopper not eat me, so I naturally have a way to make it not eat you. I don't have much patience, so PLL give you 10 seconds to consider. Hand over all the spirit stones on your body, or else I won't care about you. 1, 2. Just as Yun Chuzhou counted to 2, Nan Gongshi said, "I believe you. I'll transfer all the spirit stones on my body to you." Yun Chuzhou looked at Nan Gongshi with appreciation and continued counting. Chapter 5776. Bugs are bugs. Zhang Shuangli hesitated for a moment, then said, "I'll transfer the spirit stones to you as well." Yun Chuzhou glanced at him and didn't say anything. She continued counting, 7, 8. Xiao Yanxiao and the other two looked at Director Xiaofu, waiting for him to make a decision. Although Director Xiaofu didn't quite believe that Yun Chuzhou really had a way to save her life, he could only try his best now. Moreover, if she really could escape, he had 100 ways to make her spit out the spirit stones. Updated on B0xN0VL. Calm thinking of this, he gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, I'll transfer all the spirit stones to you." Hearing his words, Xiao Yanxiao and the other two also transferred the spirit stones to Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu looked at the spirit stones in the storage ring and her smile suddenly became much brighter. Everyone is too polite. We are all teachers and students of the 10 Directions Academy. We should not distinguish between you and me and help each other. How could I leave you in the lurch? Everyone, aren't you ashamed to say that? If you have the ability, don't extort our spirit stones. While He Xinjiu was extorting the spirit stones, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug kept shouting outside. Unfortunately, no one paid attention to it. Deputy Director Xiaofu said with a cold face, "Yan Qingcheng, we have already transferred all the spirit stones to you. Can you tell us the way to save our lives now?" Yun Chujiu put her hands behind her back and pretended to be profound. "The way to save our lives is very simple. That is, don't leave this cave. Haven't you ever thought that if that grasshopper could come and eat us, it would still deliberately make us kill each other? There is only one reason, and that is that it doesn't dare to get too close to this cave. Either there is something fishy in the pool, or there is something fishy in this cave. Therefore, we only need to obediently stay inside the cave. It can only howl outside." Everyone was stunned. After thinking about it, it really was true. Although the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was very aggressive, it had been standing in the shallow part of the pool and didn't take another step forward. At this time, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug shouted, "Stupid girl. You're not keeping your word. I've already given up on eating you, but you've exposed my background. You're courting death." Yun Chujiu curled her lips. "Grasshopper, it's not that I look down on you, but a bug is still a bug. You have no brain at all. You are planning to eat us one by one, can't I see it? Even if I don't expose you, you will trick all of us out of the cave and eat us sooner or later." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect roared in anger, "Damn girl, do you really think that I have no way to eat you? I just dislike the trouble." Yun Chujiu didn't show any panic on her face. She smiled and said, "As you wish. Anyway, you won't be able to live for more than a few days." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect was so angry that it was amused. "I won't be able to live for more than a few days. What a joke. PM and I print demon beast, equivalent to a demigod existence of you humans. As long as I want, the entire continent is mine." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect said arrogantly. TSK, you're really shameless. If you're really that powerful, why did you shamelessly eat us? You should leave this bloodthirsty insect valley and go outside. There are so many humans outside for you to eat, go and eat. Humph, I just find it troublesome. After eating you, PLL naturally go out and eat other humans. Sooner or later, the entire continent will be ours. Yun Chujiu pouted. "Grasshopper, did anyone tell you that when you lie, your left front claw will change color?" Chapter 5777, Bugs, Charge. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor subconsciously looked at its left front claw, and then heard Yun Chujiu's clear laughter. "You idiot, I was lying to you. It seems that I was right. You are a weak little grasshopper, you want to fight with me? You are still young." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor, humans were indeed cunning, humans were indeed shameless. They even lied to a grasshopper, bah, even a corpse turtle. "Darn girl, I don't understand what you're talking about. If you guys don't come out and throw your lives away, I won't be polite." Updated on B0xN0VL. Calm Yun Chujiu spread her hands. "Whatever." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was so angry that it spat out black gas and howled. However, it didn't take another step forward. Seeing this, everyone immediately believed Yun Chujiu's words. It seemed that this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug really didn't dare to approach the cave. Jiang Shuangli thickened his skin and asked, "Yan Qingcheng, how did you guess this? Yun Chuzhou glanced at him. Seeing that Jiang Shuangli didn't agree to send her to her death, she explained, if it really didn't have any scruples, it would have rushed over long ago. Why would it waste time talking to us? Moreover, this cave could be said to be a very good nesting place. However, this place was clean and didn't have any traces of demonic insects. Obviously, there was something fishy about it. Of course, these are all just guesses. Fortunately, that grasshopper is stupid enough to confess without even fighting. Hearing Yun Chujia's words, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect became even more furious. It roared, "Damned girl! So what if you've guessed it? Just you wait." When the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect said this, it began to emit a strange sound. Soon, countless demonic insects gathered. Those demonic insects all prostrated on the ground, looking extremely terrified. When everyone saw the endless number of demonic insects, they felt their scalps go numb. Even if reinforcements arrived, they probably wouldn't be able to do anything to such a large number of demonic insects. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug spat out a mouthful of black gas. Immediately, countless demonic insects were swallowed into its stomach. As those demonic insects were swallowed into its stomach, the eye-shaped mark on its forehead became more and more vivid. Yun Chuzhou and the others immediately guessed its plan. It was planning to swallow these demonic insects to forcefully increase its strength. Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes and shouted, "You stupid insects, are you just waiting for death? Go on. Kill it. As long as you eat its meat, you will be able to rise to great heights. There are so many of you, are you afraid of a little grasshopper? If you don't resist, your whole clan will be exterminated. If you think about it carefully, it is not a member of the insect clan at all. Where does it get the face to be the overlord of the insect clan? If you still have the face, just resist and eat it. If you are dead, so be it. But what about your tiny insects? What about your tiny eggs? Are you willing to give up your descendants? No more explosions in silence, just extermination in silence. Insects, charge!" The demonic insects were either convinced by He Xingjia's words or triggered by the shadow of death. They started to resist and lunged at the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insects. All of a sudden, the roars of the insects could be heard everywhere. Countless demonic insects were killed by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insects. However, there were still countless demonic insects coming one after another. It was a very tragic scene. Yun Chuzhou sighed. TSK, the other insects are all so brave, but some people clearly had a great opportunity before, but they gave it up because of fear. Chapter 5778, Battle Royale. The faces of Vice Director Xiaofu and the others alternated between green and white. Naturally, they knew that Yun Chuzhou was referring to the mulberry tree and cursing the locust tree. Xiao Yanxiao snorted coldly. "If we listened to you, we might have already died. Isn't it good now? As long as we don't leave the cave, we can keep our lives." Yun Chuzhou glanced at her. "Good. If it weren't for your cowardice and indecision, this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect wouldn't have the chance to evolve into an emperor insect. It's lucky that it's afraid, or none of us would have survived. Instead of pinning our hopes on others, it's better to grasp fate in your own hands." Update on B Omicron X0 VL. C Omicron M. Xiao Lianqiu's face flushed red from He Xingjia's rebuke. She was angry and resentful. She gritted her teeth in her heart. "Bitch, PLL let you gloat for a while. I'll get even with you in the future." At this time, the battle on the shore became more and more intense. Some demon beasts even joined in. Although the bloodthirsty insect valley had many demon insects, there were still many demon beasts living there. The thought of these demon beasts was very simple. If they didn't kill this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, their demon beasts would definitely suffer too. Since that was the case, they would attack first and temporarily join forces with the insect clan to kill this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. Yun Chuzhou looked at Director Xiaofu. Director Xiaofu, let's join the battle too. If the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug gains the upper hand, we won't be able to survive either. Director Xiaofu didn't hesitate this time, because he knew that Yun Chuzhou was right. If the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug had the upper hand and swallowed those demonic insects and beasts, its strength would definitely increase greatly. It might even be able to cross the pond. He immediately said, "Okay, well, join the battle. You guys be careful." After Director Xiaofu finished speaking, he took the lead to leave the cave. Although Xiao Lianxiao and the others were unwilling, they followed him out. Yun Chuzhou followed behind beaming like a little quail that was afraid of death. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug saw Director Xiaofu and the others, especially He Xinjiu. It roared in anger and abandoned the rest of the demonic beasts and insects to pounce on them. He Xinjiu jumped into the pond and beckoned at the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, "Little grasshopper, come and chase me." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was so angry that it immediately jumped into the pond and spat out a mouthful of black gas at Yun Chuzhou. However, He Xinjiu had already dived into the pond. The black gas spat out by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug only stirred up a few waves on the surface of the water. Yun Chuzhou poked her head out from the other end of the pond and jumped into the cave. She gave the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug a thumbs up and said, "You little grasshopper. Come here if you dare." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle roared in anger, but it did not dare to take even half a step forward. Moreover, Beiming and the others had already attacked, so it had no choice but to crawl back to the shore and continue fighting. He Xinjiu stood in the cave with her hands on her hips and cursed, "Little grasshopper, I heard that you crawled out from a corpse. Then, aren't you the child of us humans? But you have the appearance of a zerg, so that means that you are a bastard. TSK, you say that you are neither human nor insect, what is the point of living? Also, you swallowed the corpse of your companion to become like this, you are simply heartless. How can you still have the face to live in this world? Just kill yourself to atone for your sins. Little grasshopper, to be honest, I've never seen such an ugly bug like you. If the Zerg had an ugly contest, you would definitely be the champion." The end of chapter 5779. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was frustrated by Yun Chuzhou's scolding, and it would even retort angrily from time to time. This was a battlefield, how could it be distracted? It had unknowingly fallen into a disadvantageous position. At this time, the reinforcements led by President Gu had arrived. Although President Gu and the others were very surprised at the situation of besieging the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, now was not the time to ask, and they immediately joined the battle. Although the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was powerful, its cultivation was obviously not stable. Being besieged by so many demonic insects, demonic beasts, and humans, it could not hold on much longer. In the end, its huge body collapsed on the ground, turning into a pool of black water that seeped into the ground. Update on B Omicron X0 VL. C Omicron M. Seeing that the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was dead, the demonic insects and demonic beasts immediately scattered. President Gu and the others then asked Vice President Xiao what happened. Vice President Xiao naturally would not tell the truth. He simply told them the process, but hid some things that were not beneficial to him. Unfortunately, he forgot one thing. He Xinjiu was not a mute. He Xinjiu immediately sobbed, "Director, you didn't know. Vice Chancellor Xiao wanted to throw me out to feed the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. If I wasn't smart, you wouldn't have seen me." Although He Xinjiu was sobbing, she did not delay in telling them what had happened. "Director, you have to make a decision for me. Although I'm useless, I'm still the only student in the primeval institution. Is he worthy of the ancestors of the primeval institution by treating me like this? Is he worthy of his status as the vice-chancellor?" He Xinjiu said indignantly. Director Xiaofu felt everyone's eyes on him and defended himself. "Director, what Yan Qingqing said is not entirely true. I was also thinking of the bigger picture. Sacrificing Yan Qingqing alone can save the other 6 students. I had no choice. Xiao Lianxiao and the other 2 people chimed in, yes, Director. Director Xiaofu was also forced to do so. He did not deliberately target Yan Qingqing. The people present were not fools. They could naturally tell who was telling the truth and who was lying. They looked at Director Xiaofu with disapproval. Director Xiaofu knew that he was in the wrong. Although he tried his best to remain calm, he wished that he could find a hole to hide in. He hated Yun Chujiu even more. At this time, Xiao Lianxiao said, Director, Yan Qingqing extorted a lot of spirit stones from us. Please ask her to return them to us. Xiao Lianxiao immediately told them about Yun Chujiu's extortion. President Gu and the others were dumbfounded. Yun Chujiu curled her lips. Xiao Lianxiao, I saved your lives. It's only right to give me some spirit stones. How did it turn into extortion? Are you still shameless? Xiao Lianxiao was about to refute when President Gu said indifferently, all right. This matter ends here. We can't stay here for long. We must leave this place immediately. Since such an important matter had happened in the bloodthirsty insect valley, they definitely had to inform the other forces before entering to investigate. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle insect was formed from the corpse chi of the 1,000-year-old corpse. Who knows what kind of ruins there might be in the bloodthirsty insect valley? Only by gathering all the forces could they investigate. When everyone heard President Gus' words, they naturally didn't dare to say anything else. They followed President Gu as they headed towards the entrance of the valley. No one noticed that a faint black gas had entered Vice President Xiao's body. A cold glint flashed across Vice President Xiao's eyes before disappearing in an instant. Go to the hospital for an examination during the day and update it at night. It should be around 9 p.m. Chapter 57 Hearts. I was not as big as a needle's nose at this time. Director Xiephus' footsteps stopped, and a trace of confusion flashed through his eyes. Second uncle, what's wrong? Xiao Lianxiao asked with concern. Director Xiaofu shook his head, nothing, I was a little distracted just now, maybe a little tired. Hearing this, Xiao Lianxiao was finally relieved, but when she saw Yan Qingqing jumping up and down on Bai Ye's arm not far away, her expression immediately turned ugly. She originally thought that she could use this bloodthirsty insect valley trial to kill Yan Qingqing and then have a good relationship with Bai Yu. But now, not only did she fail to achieve her goal, she even extorted a lot of spirit stones from him. The most hateful thing was that after this incident, President Gu and the others were quite dissatisfied with Vice President Xiao. When they returned, they would definitely be punished. It was really a case of trying to steal a chicken, only to end up eating rice instead. However, it didn't matter. There was still a long way to go. One day, she would make that bitch Yan Qingqing pay the price. Everyone left the bloodthirsty insect valley and boarded a flying spiritual device to return to the 10 Directions Academy. After the 1,000-year-old incident with the corpse turtle emperor bug, Yun Chujiu had a good impression of Nan Gongshi. Therefore, she found an opportunity to return his spiritual stones to him. Nan Gongshi obviously didn't expect that Yun Chujiu, this money grubber, would return the money to him. In his surprise, he spoke a little more than usual. Yun Chujiu discovered that although Nan Gongshi was usually quiet, he was very knowledgeable. The two of them chatted happily. A certain someone looked at the two of them, who were chatting and laughing, and couldn't help but emit a cold aura. His ice-cold gaze landed on Nan Gongshi. Nan Gongshi felt a chill on his back. He turned his head around, but he didn't find anything unusual. He shook his head. It was probably because he had been too nervous recently that he was hallucinating. He sighed in his heart. It seemed that the rumors were indeed not to be believed. Everyone said that Yan Qingqing was a waste and that she had spent money to buy a flag to get into the upper house. However, after this incident, he completely changed his view. Although she was a little sneaky and cunning, she was brave and resourceful. If it were not for her, they might have already been swallowed by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. Moreover, he found Yen Qingcheng's conversation interesting. It was not boring at all, so he was willing to talk more. However, when he chatted with Yun Chuzhou again, the hair-raising feeling on his back came back. He couldn't help but feel a little scared. Nangong Shi, I heard that your cultivation is not bad. Let's spar when we return to the academy. Nangong Shi. Why did he have a premonition that he was going to be tortured? He seemed to have offended someone he should not have offended. However, how did he offend this Beiyu? Why did he look at him with such an unkind gaze? He Xinjiu looked at the dead fish eyes of a certain respected man and immediately understood that the jealous man was jealous. This guy could not help but roll his eyes. She was not jealous even when those coquettish bitches surrounded him. She had only said a few words to Nangong Shi, and the gigolo was already jealous? His narrow-mindedness wasn't even as big as a needle's nose. That morning, everyone returned to the upper house's waterside pavilion. He Xinjiu held Di Baiming's arm and laughed hysterically. Brother Beiyu, let's go. Well, go to your courtyard to discuss the cultivation method. Everyone. Why did it feel like a little ruffian teasing a good woman? Discussing cultivation methods. Would you believe it yourself? Xiao Lianxiao gritted her teeth in anger, but there was nothing she could do. She said to Vice Director Xiaofu, "Second uncle, I have something to tell you. Let me go to your courtyard." Chapter 5781 Are you looking for me? Director Zaifa's face was abnormally pale. He said, "I'm not feeling well. Come and see me another day." Xiao Lianxiao said worriedly, "Second uncle, you don't look too well on the way here. Get someone to take a good look at you later." Director Xiaofu nodded and left in a hurry. Director Xiaofu returned to his courtyard and immediately sat down cross-legged to meditate. He felt that there was something wrong with his body because he had been in a daze recently. It was as if his body and consciousness were not under his control for a few moments. However, on the way back, he did not find anything unusual while meditating. What was going on? Director Xiaofu did not find anything unusual this time. However, when he saw his pale face in the mirror, a shadow immediately appeared in his heart. At this moment, a familiar and strange voice appeared in his mind, "Stupid human, are you looking for me?" Director Zaifa's face immediately revealed a terrified expression. He broke out in cold sweat and said with a trembling voice, "1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect? Where are you? TSK, you are indeed extremely stupid. Of course, I am inside your body." Vice Director Xiaofu slumped on the ground. He hurriedly began to inspect his body, but he still did not discover anything. "Don't waste your energy. I have already merged into your body. Unless I leave voluntarily, you won't be able to get rid of me." The 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug said proudly. It was the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug, how could it die so easily? At that time, it saw that the situation was not right, so it came out of its shell like a cicada. Although its shell had completely disappeared, its primordial spirit had turned into corpse chi and entered Director Zaifa's body. Director Xiaofu was both shocked and afraid. The 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug was in his body, how could he survive? Director Xiaofu forced himself to calm down. Since the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug didn't take his life, perhaps it had other motives. 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug, what do you want me to do? Director Xiaofu said with a hint of humility. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug obviously enjoyed this feeling very much. It said, "You know your place. Don't worry. I only like corpses and have no interest in you. You only need to help me with one thing, and I will naturally leave your body." Only then did Deputy Director Xiaofu feel slightly relieved. "What do you need me to help you with? Just say it. As long as I can do it, I will do my best." That stinky girl took something from the pool. You think of a way to trick that thing into destroying it. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect gnashed its teeth. When did she take it? How come I don't know? Director Xiaofu asked in confusion. You idiot, of course you don't know anything. During the chaotic battle, I once forced her to dive into the water. After that, I felt that the thing in the pool had disappeared, so she must have stolen it. If it wasn't for that thing, I would have eaten all of you long ago. If it wasn't for that thing, I would have possessed her long ago. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug said through gritted teeth. Director Xiaofu immediately shifted his fear and anger onto Yun Chuzhou. Great, they were in a bloody battle, and that Yan Qingqing actually took this opportunity to take away the treasure in the pool. She really deserved to die. However, what kind of treasure was it? Chapter 5782 Fixed Corpse Pearl, my lord, what treasure did she take from the bottom of the pond? Director Xiaofu asked. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect snapped, why are you asking? You'll know when the time comes. Director Xiaofu. If he didn't know what it was, how could he trick it? However, he could also see that this 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect was very arrogant and didn't like others to question it. It was better for him not to provoke its bad luck. As for that thing, he could force Yan Qingqing to hand it over. If it really did not work, he could just find an opportunity to kill her and search her storage ring. At the same time, He Xinjiu was showing off in front of a certain god. Prince Charming, I told you that I was going to be rich. This fortune could not be blocked even if it came. I just casually dived into the pool and found such a good thing. He Xinjiu was holding a crystal-clear pearl that was reflecting brilliant brilliance. At that time, I thought that it was a small stone, and I put it into my storage ring on the principle that a thief should never leave empty-handed. I didn't expect that it would be such a good treasure. Prince Charming, what kind of pearl do you think it is? Could it be that the dead grasshopper didn't dare to approach the cave because of this pearl? Di Baiming took the bead and looked at it. He said in a low voice, in my memory, there is a kind of bead that is similar to it, but PM not sure whether it is the bead or not. What kind of bead? He Xinjiu asked curiously. The corpse stabilizing bead. He Xinjiu blinked her eyes and asked, what is the corpse stabilizing bead? It is said that after a person takes the corpse stabilizing bead, it can prevent the corpse from giving birth to a 1,000-year-old corpse turtle. Moreover, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle is very afraid of the corpse stabilizing bead. However, rumor has it that the corpse stabilizing pearl is very rare, to the point that it doesn't even exist. It seems that the people buried in the bloodthirsty insect valley have extraordinary statuses. I just don't know why the corpse stabilizing pearl that was supposed to be on its corpse would end up in the pool. Who cares how it ended up in the pool? It belongs to me now. TSK, this thing can drive away insects. In the future, I won't be afraid of being bitten by mosquitoes. Moreover, stealing honey will be much easier. A certain someone. You're wasting a god's gift, do you know that? P. The two of them flirted with each other for a while. Then, a certain someone said with a serious face, you've changed your identity. Therefore, other than Ding Wenru, don't get too close to others to avoid exposing your identity. Do you understand? Prince Charming, you're actually trying to say that I shouldn't get too close to Nangongshi, right? A certain someone's face immediately darkened. How can I be such a narrow-minded person? I'm doing this for your own good. Don't make wild guesses. He Xinjiu pursed her lips in her heart. You stubborn Sundara. However, she still followed her advice and said, since you are so considerate of me, PLL be careful not to get too close to others in the future. A certain person suddenly felt a lot better. Then, he thought that his wife was not interested in refining weapons and would not attend the branch of the refining division. He probably did not have much contact with Nangongshi, so he immediately felt relieved. The two chatted for a while more, and a certain person suggested sending He Xinjiu back to the dormitory. Naturally, He Xinjiu was more than happy to do so. This guy threw dog food all the way, and arrived at the dormitory under everyone's envious and jealous eyes. Yan Qingcheng, you're finally back. I have some ideas about your previous question about the failure of the sword intent. Why don't we discuss it? Nan Gongshi said impatiently. Chapter 5783, Jealousy, really? I haven't found the reason yet. Tell me quickly. He Xinjiu let go of Di Baiming's arm and said excitedly. Why don't you and I go to the refining institution? That way, we can test it in the refining furnace. I'm afraid it won't be very effective, Nan Gongshi suggested. He Xinjiu nodded excitedly. Alright, let's go over and take a look. Immediately, He Xinjiu followed Nan Gongshi and quickly walked away. As they walked, they discussed some methods to forge swords. They were very lively. A certain someone, who had been forgotten on the spot, had a cold aura that was almost tangible. What happened to maintaining a distance? What happened to not getting too close to others? Also, should he just leave him here? At this moment, He Xinjiu turned around and waved at a certain someone. Brother Bei Yu, I almost forgot to say goodbye to you. You should go back first. I'll look for you when I'm free. The certain someone felt even more jealous. What did she mean by looking for him when she was free? Could it be that she had the time to flirt with Nan Gongshi, but didn't have the time to talk to him? Originally, there were quite a few female students who wanted to curry favor with him, but when they saw the cold expression on a certain someone's face, they immediately didn't dare to approach him. A certain someone had the intention to chase after Yun Chujiu and drag her back, but he felt that this was a little embarrassing, so his gaze fell on Ding Wenru, who had been pretending to be a quail. I heard from Qingcheng that you have a lot of experience in refining artifacts. Why don't you go and discuss it with her? Ding Wenru. Was he asking her to play the role of breaking up the lovebirds? Bah! Bah! Qingcheng and Nan Gongshi were not lovebirds. She and Bei Yu were a couple. This Bei Yu was too jealous. However, it could be seen from this that he was really loyal to Qingcheng. Qingcheng was really a good method. Seeing that Ding Wenru did not say anything, a certain someone frowned. You're not going. Ding Wenru immediately trembled. Go. Go. I'll go. Bei Yu, don't worry. I know what to do. I guarantee that Nan Gongshi and Qingcheng won't even be able to say 3 words. Di Baiming was very satisfied with Ding Wenru's tactfulness. He nodded slightly and turned around to leave. Ding Wenru, on the other hand, eagerly chased after Yun Chujiu and Nan Gongshi. There was nothing she could do. In order to firmly cling onto her thighs, she had to pay the labor that needed to be done. When she rushed to the refining institution, Yun Chujiu and Nan Gongshi were discussing the matter of infusing sword intent. Ding Wenru forcefully separated Yun Chujiu and Nan Gongshi, and then began to talk about her own thoughts. Nan Gong-s. Did this Ding Wenru know what courtesy was? However, he had always been quiet. Even if he was displeased, he didn't say it out loud. He just kept his mouth shut and allowed Ding Wenru to continue blabbering. He Xinjiu looked at Ding Wenru, who was much more active than usual. He couldn't help but feel puzzled. Could it be that Ding Wenru had taken a liking to Nan Gongshi? Was that why she wanted to express herself? That's right. Ding Wenru was interested in refining artifacts and had even specially attended the refining faculty's classes. Nan Gongshi was also an outstanding figure in the refining faculty, so it was normal for her to have a good impression of him. Since Ding Wenru liked Nan Gongshi, she would have to matchmake the two of them in the future and create some opportunities for them. However, in order to avoid awkwardness, she couldn't let the two of them be alone for the time being. When the time was right, she would retire successfully. Therefore, in the next few days, a certain someone discovered that He Xinjiu and Nan Gongshi interacted more frequently. Chapter 5784 was not available. A certain venerable was very angry and decided to ignore Yun Chujio for a few days to let her know what it meant to be a husband. Thus, for a few days, a certain venerable did not come to see Hei Shinjo again, nor did he send her a voice transmission talisman. He originally thought that in this way, Hei Shinjo would eagerly look for him, and then he would teach her a good lesson. However, Hei Shinjo did not look for him at all. Hei Shinjo had been extremely busy these days. Not only did she want to matchmake Nangong Shi and Ding Wenru, but she also had to go to the Alchemy Division, Talisman Seal Division, and Beast Master Division to freeload classes. If she had nothing to do, she had to go to President Gus' place to brush up on her good impression. How could she still have time to care about a certain Sundara? On this day, Hei Shinjo had just finished freeloading classes in the Alchemy Division when Xiao Yanxiao said with a cold face, "Yan Qingcheng, my second uncle is looking for you for something. Come with me for a moment." Yun Chujio curled her lips. "I'm not free." "You." Xiao Yanxiao wanted to flare up, but when she thought of Deputy Director Xaiaphas' instructions, she suppressed her anger and said, "My second uncle is looking for you because of the bloodthirsty insect valley. There was some misunderstanding at that time, so my second uncle wants to have a good chat with you to clear up the misunderstanding." Hei Xinjia's black eyes rolled around. Want to have a good chat with her? It's either evil or evil to be so solicitous for no reason. That Deputy Director Xiaofu wished he could strangle her to death. If he asked her to go, it definitely wouldn't be a good thing. Therefore, she said with a smile, "Aya, there's no need to chat." I know that Deputy Director Xiaofu was considering the overall situation at that time. I don't blame him. I still have things to do. I'll see you later. After saying that, Yun Chujio directly skipped away. Xiao Yanxiao was so angry that her face turned red. She had already been so humble, but this Yan Qingqing still dared to take advantage of Xiao Yanxiao. It was really detestable. When she thought of Director Xaiaphas' instructions, she couldn't help but have a headache. She didn't know why, but she felt that after returning from the bloodthirsty insect valley, Director Xaiaphas' attitude towards her was no longer as friendly as before. Moreover, she felt that his face had always been somewhat pale. In the end, Xiao Yanxiao still went to Director Xaiaphas' courtyard and told him everything. Director Xiaofu waved his hand unhappily. "All right, I understand. You can go back. Second uncle, I see that your complexion is still not very good. Why don't I go Vice Director Xiaofu yelled somewhat anxiously. Xiao Liankio's face was full of confusion from being yelled at. She felt very wronged in her heart. "Second uncle, you've always doted on me the most." Why now?" Director Xiaofu couldn't bear it anymore and comforted her, "I'm not in a good mood recently. You should go back first and cultivate well." Xiao Yanxiao heard this and could only leave sullenly. TSK, what should I say about you? You can't even fool that little girl. You're even dumber than our bug clan's dung beetle." The 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor insect said disdainfully. Director Xiaofu was angry and resentful, but he didn't dare to offend the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor insect. After all, it was in his body now, so it was easy to take his life. "Sir, that Yan Qingqing is very crafty, but she's not a student of our spirit energy department, so I can't forcefully summon her. However, don't worry, I'll find an opportunity as soon as possible to destroy the thing she got from the pond." All right. I don't expect you to be a good-for-nothing anymore." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug said impatiently. Before Deputy Director Xiaofu could understand the meaning of the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug's words, he had already lost consciousness. Deputy Director Xiaofu's eyes flashed with a cold light. He stretched his limbs and revealed a strange smile on the corner of his mouth. Chapter 5785 The Grasshopper Update on B Omicron X0 VL. C Omicron M, TSK. Although the human body is a little weak, it is much more flexible than the insect race's body. It is a pity that those who are invaded by corpse energy won't live for long. Otherwise, they can use this body to enjoy themselves, Director Xiophas thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect said to itself. This idiot actually has no way of bringing that stinky girl over. I can only go and look for her myself. Humph. It's just a stinky girl. Even if I use this body, I can still easily kill her. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect swaggered out of the courtyard. Along the way, it met quite a few lecturers and students who greeted it. In order to prevent it from giving itself away, it only nodded indifferently. It let a student from the spirit faculty lead the way and arrived at the door of Yun Chujia's dormitory. In order to curry favor with Director Xiaofu, the student from the spirit faculty took the initiative to call for the door. Yan Qingcheng, Director Xiaofu is here. Why aren't you coming out to welcome him? He Xinjiu had just arrived at the dormitory and was preparing to have dinner with Ding Wenru and Ding Wenru. Ding Wenru frowned. Qingcheng, why is Director Xiaofu here? Is he looking for trouble? Yun Chujiu sneered in her heart. She wanted to see what Director Xiaofu was up. She immediately opened the gate and said to Director Xiaofu, who was standing outside, Director Xiaofu. Director Xiaofu, are you looking for me? The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug wished that it could kill the little girl in front of it. However, in order not to cause any trouble, it imitated Director Xiophas' usual manner and said, previously in the bloodthirsty insect valley, there was some misunderstanding between us. Although I am a teacher, I should still properly communicate with you. As the thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug spoke, he walked past Yun Chujiu and entered the courtyard. Yun Chujiu's eyes flashed. She closed the courtyard door and turned around to enter the courtyard as well. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug saw Ding Wenru, who was in the courtyard, and frowned. Yan Qingcheng and I have something to discuss. You should leave for a while. Ding Wenru did not say anything but looked at Yun Chujiu. She saw Yun Chujiu nod and left the courtyard. However, she did not walk far and sat at the entrance of the courtyard. This way, if there was any movement inside, she could enter in time. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug originally wanted to make a move directly, but after thinking for a while, it decided that it was not too late to make a move after making sure that the treasure was. Therefore, it sat on the stone chair in the courtyard and said, Yan Qingcheng, when I was in the bloodthirsty insect valley, I did it for the sake of the overall situation. I didn't mean to harm you. Yun Chujiu said with a faint smile, oh. Deputy Director Xiaofu, do you believe what you said? The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug choked and laughed dryly. It's a misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding. We have also experienced life and death here, so we should put aside our past grudges. Oh right, you're still young, so don't take things lightly. Did you pick up anything in the pond or cave? If you did, you must tell the truth to avoid danger. When the thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect said this, its eyes were fixed on Yun Chujiu, not missing the slightest change in her expression. Yun Chujiu's face was full of confusion and confusion. Pick up something? Where did you say that? We were forced to the point of losing our lives by that dead grasshopper, so where am I going to pick up anything? When Yun Chujiu said this, her eyes suddenly lit up. Vice Director Xiaofu, listening to your words, could it be that you picked up something? Is that why you suspect that I picked up something? All right. You actually dared to take advantage of your own pocket. I want to report you to President Gu. However, if you give me some hush money, I'll pretend that I don't know anything. Thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. Chapter 5786, Fat Meat to the Mouth Update on B Omicron X0 VL. C Omicron M. The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was dumbfounded. Why didn't this brat play by the rules? The thousand-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug endured it and said, I was just asking casually. I was afraid that you would pick up something bad at such a young age. Since you don't have it, then forget it. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and said, but I think Vice President Xiao, you really picked up something good. Even if you didn't pick it up, it's better to explain it to President Gu. Let's go and see President Gu now. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor was so angry that it wanted to slap Yunchujo to death. However, it was not sure if the corpse pearl was with Yunchujo. If it acted rashly, it was afraid that it would alert the enemy. It thought about it again. Anyway, the spiritual stones in the storage ring were not its, so it was okay to give it to this stupid girl. It was also a good opportunity to inquire about it. Therefore, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor transferred all the spiritual stones that Vice President Xiao had accumulated for many years to He Xinjiu. Previously, when He Xinjiu was blackmailing him in the bloodthirsty insect valley, although Director Xiaofu had also handed over some spirit stones, it was only a small portion of his entire wealth. However, she did not expect that the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor insect had transferred all the spirit stones to He Xinjiu. He Xinjiu was so frightened that she almost jumped up when she saw the extra spirit stones in her storage ring. She just wanted to get some pocket money. She did not expect that Director Xiaofu would transfer so many spirit stones to her. Was his brain cramping? However, with the thought of not taking advantage of the bastard, He Xinjiu naturally wouldn't spit out the fat meat that was in her mouth. However, the smile on this guy's face immediately became more sincere. Director Xiaofu, you are really an honest person. Since you are so sincere, I will pretend that I don't know anything. The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug saw Yunchuji's beaming face and despised her in its heart. This bastard was too greedy. However, this was also good. It was convenient for it to continue to investigate the news. Therefore, it sighed and said sincerely, Yan Qingcheng, I did this to resolve our previous misunderstanding. Did you really not pick up anything? Yunchuji's heart moved. Could it be that Vice Director Xiaofu already knew about the existence of the corpse stabilizing pearl, so he used words to probe? But how did he know? She thought again. A few days ago, the 10 Directions Academy and other forces had explored the bloodthirsty insect valley Toget. Perhaps they had found the clues to the corpse stabilizing pearl, which was why Director Xiaofu asked this question. Several thoughts flashed through his mind, but his face was still in a daze. Director Xiaofu, I really didn't pick up anything. Also, let me give you a piece of advice. If you pick up something, you can secretly smile. Don't ask this or that. Are you afraid that others won't know that you picked up something good? The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug was so angry that he gritted his teeth. However, he was even more uncertain in his heart. Could it be that the corpse stabilizing pearl was really not in this stinky girl's hands? However, at that time, only this stinky girl had the opportunity to obtain the corpse stabilizing pearl. Was she speaking the truth or was she lying? Yunchujo looked at the sky and said, Vice Director Xiaofu, it's getting late. It's time for me to eat dinner. Shouldn't you go back? How could the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect be willing to leave just like that? It laughed dryly and said, I'm also a little hungry. Can we eat some together? Yunchujo simply couldn't believe that Vice Director Xiaofu had such thick skin. However, for the sake of the large sum of spirit stones just now, it was rare for him to be generous. She said, all right, since Vice Director Xiaofu doesn't mind, then let's eat together. Chapter 5787, Where was its face? Seeing that Yunchujo had agreed, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect was secretly delighted. It only needed to inject the corpse poison into the food later, and it could make this crafty little girl in front of it live a life worse than death. At that time, it didn't believe that she wouldn't tell the truth. If the corpse stabilizing pearl was really with her, it would return her body to Director Xiaofu and destroy the corpse stabilizing pearl. This way, it would no longer have any worries, and it could lead the Bug clan to unify the Divine Enlightenment continent in the future. The more it thought about the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor Bug, the more beautiful it became. If it didn't have the last bit of rationality left, it would have danced with joy. At this moment, Yunchujo took out 6 dishes from her storage ring and placed them on the stone table. This fellow was very stingy. The dishes he took out were all very ordinary dishes. Thinking of the large amount of spirit stones that Director Xiaofu had just contributed, he took out a plate of glutinous rice dumplings with a pained expression and said with a smile, "Director Xiaofu, I see that your face is a little pale. Could it be that you were poisoned during the battle? I heard that this thing is very effective in removing the corpse poison. Eat more." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug suddenly stood up and jumped several feet away. Fortunately, the courtyard was large enough, or else it would have crashed into the door. Hei Xingjiu was shocked and looked at the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug suspiciously. "Director Xiaofu, what do you mean by this?" Hearing Yun Chujia's words, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It thought that this brat had seen through something, but it turned out that she was just spouting nonsense. However, it was formed from corpse qi. It really did not have a good impression of things like glutinous rice, dog blood, and black donkey hooves, not to mention eating them. "Well, I remembered that I still have something urgent, so I won't be eating at your place. I'll look for you another day." After saying that, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect left in a hurry. Hei Xingjiu had a baffled look on her face. Why was this deputy director Xiaofu acting so strangely? Could it be that he was overstimulated? Otherwise, why would he give her so many spiritual stones? After returning to Director Zaifa's courtyard, the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug returned its body to Director Xiaofu. Director Xiaofu didn't know what had happened, so he asked tentatively, "Sir, what did you do with my identity just now?" The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug said unhappily, "What can I do? I just went to see that stinky girl." Director Xiaofu grumbled, "That Yan Qingcheng is very treacherous. Why are you in a hurry to see her? What if you alert her? Do I need your permission to do anything? Are you tired of living?" The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect threatened. Director Xiaofu immediately said humbly, "Sir, that's not what I meant. It's just that that damned girl is full of tricks. I'm afraid that you'll be tricked by her. I wonder if you've gained anything from seeing her." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect snorted coldly, "I'm not sure if that thing is on her body now. I still need to find another opportunity to test it out." "Not sure? Didn't you say before that if Yan Qingqing didn't have that treasure, you would have possessed her body? Why are you not sure now?" Deputy Director Xiaofu said in confusion. "I'm just guessing. What if? You don't need to talk so much nonsense. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. I need to rest for a while. Don't disturb me." The 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug said angrily. At that time, it guessed that the corpse pearl was on Yunchujia's body. It was afraid that it would be hurt by the corpse pearl if it possessed her body recklessly. For safety reasons, it chose Director Xiaofu. Of course, it wouldn't say these words out loud. Otherwise, where would it put its face? Chapter 5788 1 a.m. Doing this for your own good. Director Xiaofu was afraid and angry, but there was nothing he could do. He didn't dare to let others know that he had been possessed by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug. On one hand, he was afraid that the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug would take his life. On the other hand, if others knew about this, his future would be completely ruined. After all, some things were better said than done. Others would say why the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor bug didn't choose others but chose to possess him. There would definitely be a lot of bad guesses. Director Xiaofu vented all his resentment on Yun Chujiu. In his opinion, if Yun Chujiu had obediently gone out to die, there would not have been any other matters. He would not have been possessed by the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect. This could not go on. He had to think of a way to get rid of the 1,000-year-old corpse turtle emperor insect. However, how could he get rid of it? His every move could not be hidden from it. It would definitely not work if he wanted to force it. He had to think of a way to get rid of Yan Qingcheng. If Yan Qingcheng had that so-called treasure, he might be able to get rid of the 1,000-year corpse turtle emperor bug's control if he obtained that treasure. Even if Yan Qingqing did not have that treasure, based on the thousand-year corpse turtle Emperor Bug's hatred towards Yan Qingqing, it might be able to possess Yan Qingqing. Therefore, he had to find an opportunity to trap Yan Qingqing and search her body. He had to hit the nail on the head. Otherwise, he would alert the enemy and it would be difficult for him to make a move again. Director Xiaofu pondered for a moment about his direct descendants. If he wanted them to do things, he should at least give them some benefits. Therefore, he sent his spiritual sense into his storage ring. He was checking the spiritual tools in the storage ring when his eyes suddenly widened in disbelief. Where were his spiritual stones? Why were they all gone? Director Xiaofu thought that he was hallucinating. He carefully used his spiritual sense to check more than 10 times, but he didn't see a single spirit stone. Director Xiephus' head buzzed. Why were all his spirit stones gone? Where did his spirit stones go? This was all he had. Why were they all gone all of a sudden? He suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that the thousand-year-old corpse turtle Emperor Bug was behind this? He immediately asked, "Sir, have you used the spirit stones in my storage?" The thousand-year-old corpse turtle Emperor Bug said unhappily, "It's just a mere spirit stone. Do I have to greet you?" Director Xiaofu was both angry and afraid. This thousand-year-old corpse turtle Emperor Bug could actually use his storage ring. What did this mean? It meant that his body and spiritual sense had been controlled by it. If he was slightly careless, he would lose his life. He squeezed out a smile and said, "My spirit stone is your spirit stone. You can use it however you want, but I'm a little curious. My storage ring originally had more than 100 million high-grade spirit stones. What exactly did you use it for?" The thousand-year corpse turtle Emperor Insect said lightly, "I didn't do anything. I gave it to that stinky girl." Director Xiaofu. He felt that he must have heard wrongly. Otherwise, how could he have heard such a shocking answer? What did he mean by giving it to that damned girl? Was this damned grasshopper sick? Didn't it hate Yan Qingqing the most? Why would it give her so many spirit stones? Director Xiaofu only felt his head buzzing. He supported himself with the table and sat on the chair, resisting the urge to vomit blood. "Sir, why did you give the spirit stones to Yan Qingqing?" The thousand-year-old corpse turtle Emperor Insect snapped, "She wanted to report to your so-called director that you found something in the bloodthirsty insect valley. She asked me for hush money, so I gave the spirit stones to her. I'm doing this for your own good. You don't have to thank me too much." Vice Director Xiaofu spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted with a choking sound. Chapter 5789, What did he do wrong? The thousand-year-old corpse turtle Emperor Insect disdainfully muttered, "What a stingy person. Isn't it just a little spiritual stone? What's the big deal? Humans are indeed greedy." Upon hearing its words, Director Xiaofu, who had just woken up, once again fainted from anger. Was that a little spiritual stone? That was more than 100 million spiritual stones. That was all his savings. On the other side, He Xinjiu was so happy to see the spiritual stones that she had easily extorted. Recently, she was 80% sure that she had come to a good end. Previously, she had picked up the fixed corpse pearl in the bloodthirsty insect valley, and now, she had extorted so many spiritual stones so easily. It was simply wonderful. Seeing her beaming with joy, Ding Wenru asked curiously, "Qingqing, what does Director Xiaofu want to talk to you about? Why are you so happy?" He Xinjiu said with a smile, "It's nothing, it's nothing. I guess he found his conscience and came to make peace." Ding Wenru was skeptical, but she changed the topic tactfully, "Qingqing, why hasn't Beiyu come to look for you recently?" He Xinjiu then realized that a certain someone had not made any movements for a few days. She took out a voice transmission talisman and asked, "Brother Beiyu, why haven't you come to see me these days?" A certain venerable, who had been tormenting himself, saw the voice transmission talisman tremble. The corners of his mouth curled up. Little Jiu could not hold it in any longer. Pitch, this time, he had to let her know what it meant to be a husband. He sent his spiritual sense into the voice transmission talisman. After hearing Hei Xinjia's words, he said indifferently, I'm busy. Hei Xinjiu blinked her eyes. She immediately understood that a certain venerable had done it on purpose. She curled her lips and put away the voice transmission talisman. Weren't you busy? Then go ahead and get busy. The pitiful certain someone waited until midnight but didn't receive a reply from Hei Xinjiu. He was so angry that cold air was emitted from his body. A certain someone took out his identity jade token and sent a message to Nan Gongshi, see you tomorrow at the martial arts practice field. Nan Gongshi, who was sleeping soundly, woke up with a start. He looked at the identity jade token in his hand with a dumbfounded expression. Was this Beiyu crazy? Was this the rhythm of an invitation to a fight? Also, you can ask for a fight, but why did you ask for a fight in the middle of the night? What did he do to offend this Beiyu? The next morning, Nan Gongshi met Ding Wenru at the refining department. Although Nan Gongshi felt that Ding Wenru was too reckless and acted rashly, after interacting with her for the past few days, he didn't feel as disgusted as before. Therefore, when he saw Ding Wenru, he still came over to greet her and called her to the side to probe, has Beiyu gone to look for Yan Qingqing recently? Is there anything wrong with him? Ding Wenru's heart was immediately alarmed. Could it be that Nan Gongshi still had an unyielding heart for Qingqing? Otherwise, why would he ask about Beiyu's whereabouts? Qingqing and Beiyu were a couple, and he had hinted at her a lot over the past few days, yet he still wanted to get involved in her matters. He was really shameless. Originally, Ding Wenru had a good impression of Nan Gongshi, but now, she felt a trace of disdain in her heart. Thus, she said somewhat unhappily, what does it have to do with you whether Beiyu looks for Qingqing or not? What do you care? After Ding Wenru finished speaking, she ignored Nan Gongshi and turned around to leave, leaving Nan Gongshi in the same spot. Nan Gongshi was dumbfounded. Did this Ding Wenru take the wrong medicine today? She actually spoke to him in such a manner. Both of them were sick. When he thought about the fight in the evening, he felt extremely tired. What did he do wrong? Chapter 5790, One-sided breakup. Nan Gongshi was somewhat apprehensive. Even though he was one of the top students in the armament division, he didn't know why he didn't have any confidence in front of Beiyu. What the hell? It wasn't easy for him to make it to the agreed time, so he braced himself and went to the martial arts practice field. However, he couldn't find Beiyu even after looking around the huge martial arts practice field. After waiting for another hour, he still couldn't find Beiyu. Nan Gongshi could not help but wonder if Beiyu was sleepwalking last night. He did not know that a certain someone was already in trouble. How would he have the time to torture him? Hei Xinjiu originally wanted to ignore a certain someone, but that person had extorted more than 100 million spirit stones from Director Xiaofu yesterday. She could not help but want to show off. However, she could only show off in front of a certain someone, therefore, after the lesson, she went to a certain someone's dormitory. On the way, she met a certain someone who was emitting cold air. Hei Xinjia's eyes immediately lit up. Brother Beiyu, do you want to visit me? Our minds are really connected. I was just about to look for you. A certain someone's face immediately turned cold, because he mistakenly thought that Yun Chujiu ran over to plead for Nan Gongshi. Otherwise, why did she run over when he was going to spar with Nan Gongshi? A certain honored warrior's voice was slightly cold as he said, what do you want from me? Hei Xinjiu thought that he was still quarreling with her, so she didn't care too much. She said with a smile, of course I have good things to tell you. Come, let's go to your dormitory. Hearing her words, a certain lord was even more certain that Yun Chujiu wanted to stop him from going to the martial arts practice field. Otherwise, why would she be in such a hurry to let him go back to his dormitory? He avoided Yun Chujiu's extended arm and said indifferently, I still have things to do. You can go back first. Hei Xinjiu was stunned, but she still said with a smile, "Brother Beiyu, what is more important than me? Let's go to your dormitory." Hearing her words, Beiyu was even more certain that she wanted to stop him from torturing Nangongshi. His expression became even uglier, and he once again dodged Yun Chujia's extended arm. There were many admirers of Beiyu nearby. When they saw this scene, they immediately looked at Hei Shinjiu with schadenfreude. TSK, this Yan Qingqing had finally angered Beiyu. There would be a good show to watch. As they said, Beiyu would come to his senses sooner or later. Yan Qingqing was not worthy of him at all. If Beiyu returned to being single, they were. This was really good news that everyone was celebrating. Just as everyone was gloating over Beiyu's misfortune, they saw Yan Qingqing being stunned at first. Then, she pointed at Beiyu's nose and scolded him, "Did I give you some face? What kind of evil wind are you up to this time? How dare you throw your face at me? Have you grown capable?" The surrounding crowd widened their eyes in shock. This Yan Qingqing was really intrepid. She actually dared to point at Beiyu's nose and scold him. Wasn't she afraid that Beiyu would turn on her? Beiyu's expression turned ugly as expected, and the coldness on his body intensified. However, he did not say anything. Everyone's gaze fell on Yan Qingqing again, only to see her eyes turn red, and tears rolled down her cheeks one by one. "Beiyu, Yan Qingqing, am blind to have taken a fancy to you. I didn't expect you to be such an unreasonable bastard. If you have any complaints, just tell me directly, but you didn't say anything, yet you're doing this to me. You've really disappointed me. From today onwards, Yan Qingqing, will break up with you unilaterally. From now on, get as far away from me as possible, don't bother me." Chapter 5791. Don't be too sad. Under everyone's stunned gazes, Hei Shinjiu covered her face and ran away. Ding Wenru, who had just rushed over after hearing the news, immediately chased after her with a worried look on her face. Could it be that Qingqing had taken it too hard? Everyone looked at each other. This Yan Qingqing actually took the initiative to break up with Beiyu? She even told him to get as far away from her as possible. Was she crazy? Wasn't Beiyu just a little cold to her? She actually broke up with him. Wasn't she taking herself too seriously? She had no figure, no looks, no cultivation, no background, and yet she was still acting like a demon. She really overestimated herself. After what she had done, Beiyu definitely wouldn't bother with her anymore. After all, Beiyu's personality was arrogant, so how could he be bothered by her? Xiao Lianxiao, who was in the crowd, immediately felt happy. Her chance had come. This bitch Yan Qingqing really did not care about fortune. She actually pushed such a good man like Beiyu out. Was she crazy? Xiao Lianxiao immediately walked in front of a certain someone with a cold expression and said gently, "Beiyu, you don't have to be sad. A person like Yan Qingqing who doesn't know what's good for her is not worth you being sad for her. Why don't we?" Without waiting for her to finish speaking, a certain someone coldly spat out a word, "Scram." The certain someone didn't even glance at Xiao Lianxiao. After he finished speaking, he turned around and walked towards his own dormitory. Xiao Lianxiao was both angry and angry. She wished she could find a hole to hide in. At this moment, she saw that Beiyu had actually turned around and returned. Her heart immediately rejoiced. It seemed that Beiyu had just vented his anger. Now that he had calmed down, he came to explain to her. Xiao Lianqiu's anger immediately turned into shyness. It seemed that Beiyu had feelings for her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have specially come back to explain himself. Seeing that Beiyu was getting closer and closer to her, Xiao Lianqiu's expression became even more bashful. She said softly, "Beiyu, actually, I'm not angry with you." Xiao Lianqiu's words came to an abrupt stop. She watched helplessly as Beiyu didn't even look at her. Instead, he walked past her and directly walked over. Xiao Lianqiu's face immediately alternated between green and white, the hands under her sleeves tightly clenched together. Tao Yan'er walked over to Xiao Lianqiu's side and comforted her. Lianxiao, I reckon that Bei Yu has been greatly angered by that Yan Qingcheng. That's why he's like this. Don't take it to heart. Yan Qingcheng is courting death herself. In the F. At this moment, someone in the crowd said, Isn't that road leading to the primal institution? Bei Yu couldn't have gone to look for Yan Qingcheng, that's right. I think Bei Yu went to look for Yan Qingcheng to settle the score. After all, he was humiliated by Yan Qingcheng just now. It's impossible for him to let it go just like that. That's right. Even if it's a breakup, Bei Yu should be the one who dumped Yan Qingcheng. It's not Yan Qingcheng's place to say those words. I reckon that Bei Yu will definitely teach Yan Qingcheng a lesson when he sees her. This is going to be a good show. Let's go and take a look. On the other side, Ding Wenru chased Yun Chujiu all the way back to the primal institution. Qingcheng, are you alright? I don't think it's that serious. Bei Yu is probably just in a bad mood, don't be too sad. Don't be too sad. Both of you are in a fit of anger right now. It'll be fine once you calm down and clear up the misunderstanding. Ding Wenru's words came to an abrupt end because He Xinjiu took out a spirit fruit and started munching on it. She did not look sad at all. Chapter 5792, Seize the Initiative. Qingcheng, you're okay? Ding Wenru stared at Yun Chujiu in disbelief. Yun Chujiu took out a fruit and tossed it to Ding Wenru. She smiled and said, What could have happened to me? Ding Wenru took the fruit and said in a daze, You've already argued with Bei Yu to the point of breaking up, how could you be okay? Oh my god, have you gone crazy from grief? Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes. You're the one who's crazy. That Sundara needs to be taught a lesson. If you don't believe me, I'll make a bet with you. In an hour at most, he'll obediently roll over to apologize. Ding Wenru felt that He Xinjiu had really gone crazy. Bei Yu was so arrogant, how could he possibly come over to apologize? Qingcheng, it's not that I want to criticize you, but you can still throw a tantrum. Why did you say it so harshly? What if Bei Yu really breaks up with He Xinjiu? Curled her lips. Let me tell you, when these two people are in a relationship, either the east wind surpasses the west wind, or the west wind surpasses the east wind. You have to grasp the initiative. If I hadn't caused such a ruckus today, that Xiao Bai, Bei Yu, would definitely have made things worse. Sister Ding, if you get along with anyone in the future, you have to remember this. If you hand over the initiative, you won't be able to get it back even if you regret it in the future. Ding Wenru was stunned by this guy's words. Oh my, no wonder Qingcheng was able to take down Bei Yu, she still had so many tricks up her sleeve. But, was this a clever trick or a dirty trick? Just as Ding Wenru was pondering, there was a knock on the door and Bei Yu's voice, Open the door. He Xinjiu hurriedly threw away the fruit core in her hand and messed up her hair a little. She squeezed out 2 more lines of crocodile tears and even deliberately rubbed her eyes red. Ding Wenru. She was full of admiration for Qingcheng's talent in acting. However, was Bei Yu here to apologize or settle the score? Ding Wenru saw Yun Chujiu wink at her and turned around to open the courtyard door. There were already many students gathered outside, most of them girls. They were certain that Bei Yu was here to settle the score with Yan Qingcheng and that there would be no chance for them to reconcile in the future. Therefore, everyone's faces were filled with schadenfreude as they watched a good show. When the courtyard door opened, everyone saw He Xinjiu crying miserably. Everyone pursed their lips. This Yan Qingcheng was probably regretting her decision now, but what was the use? Bei Yu was definitely determined to break up with her this time. Ding Wenru originally wanted to explain things to He Xinjiu, but when she saw the cold expression on Bei Yu's face, she did not dare to say anything and silently closed the courtyard door. She thought to herself, it seemed like Qingqing had really hit the jackpot this time. Bei Yu was obviously very angry. How did he look like he was here to apologize? She hurriedly went to look at Yun Chujiu, wanting to give her a look to make her admit defeat, but she heard He Xinjiu sobbing, "Why are you still here? Just let me cry myself to death. Anyway, I'm a pitiful little girl that no one will feel sorry for." Ding Wenru secretly shook her head. Wasn't Qingqing adding fuel to the fire? Just as she was thinking about it, a certain someone turned around and looked at her. Ding Wenru's heart was filled with happiness. She immediately understood that this meant that she had to scram as soon as possible. She quickly left the courtyard and stood guard at the door. It was not that she was disloyal, but it was mainly because of the matter between the two of them. She had no way of getting involved. Besides, no matter how weak Bei Yu was, he would not hit Qingqing, so it was better for her to stand guard outside the door so that no one would listen to her. However, was Bei Yu here to settle the score or to apologize? Chapter 5793 was treating him like a monkey. Just as Ding Wenru was pondering, Nan Gongshi squeezed through the crowd. "Ding Wenru, is Bei Yu inside?" "Get out of the way, I have something to talk to him about," Nan Gongshi said in a bad mood. This Bei Yu was too much. The fight in the middle of the night had caused him to not sleep well the entire night, and he had been on tenterhooks the entire day. What was worse was that he had actually broken the appointment. Was he treating him like a monkey? Ding Wenru was even more displeased with Nan Gongshi's interference. She coldly snorted, "Bei Yu and Qingqing are discussing something. If you want to see Bei Yu, just wait outside." Nan Gongshi was already filled with anger. Now that Ding Wenru had spoken to him in such a manner, he immediately said angrily, "Ding Wenru, what are you trying to do? Get out of the way." Nan Gongshi was one of the 4 young masters, and there were quite a few admirers among the crowd who were watching the show. Previously, because Nan Gongshi and Ding Wenru were close, he was quite dissatisfied with Ding Wenru. However, they felt that Ding Wenru was big and burly, just like a rough man. Even if Nan Gongshi was blind, he wouldn't take a fancy to her, so he only said sour words behind her back. He didn't deliberately find trouble with Ding Wenru. However, she actually dared to speak to Nan Gongshi like this. It was a bit shameless. "Ding Wenru, are you crazy? How did Nan Gongshi offend you? You actually spoke to him like this?" "That's right. She looks like a bear. Nan Gongshi being willing to speak to you is already flattering you. You actually don't know what's good for you. What right do you have to stop Nan Gongshi?" I think she's just Yan Qingcheng's dog. She thinks that she's some amazing person. How shameless." Ding Wenru was already used to hearing the words of these people, so she pretended that she didn't hear anything. Nan Gongshi frowned. Although he didn't like Ding Wenru, he was considered a familiar person. Listening to these people's words, it felt especially harsh. When he saw that Ding Wenru didn't have any intention of explaining or refuting, he frowned even more and asked coldly, "Didn't you hear what they said? Aren't you angry? Or do you not even have the courage to refute? Can't you have a little bit of backbone?" Ding Wenru's hand tightened. Backbone? She naturally wanted to have backbone, but after experiencing the shadow of death, nothing was more important than survival. She looked at Nan Gongshi with a cold gaze filled with ridicule. "Nan Gongshi, you're right. I don't have the courage or backbone, so please stay away from me in the future. Also, this is the Primal Academy. Without my and Qingcheng's permission." Hearing this, Nan Gongshi felt a trace of regret in his heart. His words just now were a bit harsh, and it was also because he had vented his anger on Ding Wenru because of the incident with Bei Yu. However, he had always been quiet, so he did not explain. Instead, he stood aside with a cold expression, determined to wait for Bei Yu, the culprit, to come out and ask him about it. When Ding Wenru saw him like this, the corners of her mouth curled up with a hint of mockery. He was just a proud son of heaven who had not gone through any hardships. However, he still did not know his own limits. Clearly, Qingsheng and Bei Yu were a perfect couple, yet he still had to interfere. He was really shameless. She wondered how Bei Yu and Qingsheng were doing. Did the negotiations fall apart? Just as Ding Wenru was thinking about it, He Xinjia's giggling voice came from the courtyard. Sister Ding, come in. Let's have dinner together. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.